this is a guy who, from the time he got into the league until 2020, was in the NBA Finals 10 times. And the last 6 years, since 2020, he's been in the NBA Finals 0 times. That is a huge swing. 10 times in 17 years, and then 0 times in the last 5 or 6 years. That is a big difference. And to know that for the bulk of your career, the NBA Finals were almost the LeBron James Invitational, and then you were just out of it.
LeBron James has made a decision that's sending the basketball world into absolute chaos. Some critics are already calling it the ultimate admission. Not a power move, not a legacy move, an admission. And if they're right, everything we've been told about LeBron's championship mentality suddenly looks very different. The accusations are impossible to ignore. Some analysts believe LeBron still needs a loaded roster, the Eastern Conference, and the perfect set of circumstances if he wants to chase another ring. But that's only where the controversy begins. Because one respected NBA voice just asked the questions nobody can seem to answer. Rachel Nichols didn't launch a personal attack on LeBron. Instead, she exposed the mystery surrounding the entire situation. Why Philadelphia? Why now? And what changed so dramatically that this suddenly became the destination? Those questions are raising eyebrows across the league. For years, LeBron insisted that family, happiness, and life beyond basketball mattered more than another championship chase. So why does this move make it seem like the priorities have shifted? Is there something bigger happening behind the scenes? Or is this the clearest sign, yet that the pursuit of one more title has changed everything? Stay with us, because the deeper you look into this story, the more surprising it becomes.
Well, I was as surprised as I think everyone else was. I thought Philadelphia was kind of in last place of the options that he was looking at. And I think either it's going to work spectacularly or it's going to be a failure. I'm not sure there's a ton of room in the middle, but we'll find out. I applaud him knowing what he wanted and going after it. I don't know how much buy-in he has from everybody else on that roster.
Rachel Nichols highlighted the most striking statistic in this debate. From the start of LeBron James' career through 2020, he reached the NBA Finals 10 times in just 17 seasons, an extraordinary achievement. Since 2020, however, he hasn't made a single Finals appearance. According to the argument, the biggest change wasn't simply age. It was the tougher competition, the conference, and eventually losing control of his team.
I am much more interested in what the conversations with Jaylen Brown were, first of all, on the way into Philly, and maybe it was just when the trade happened with Boston, hey, we are going to extend you, and that was enough. And the fact that he would have these two guards, young guards, and Joel, and that all felt good to him. Now that LeBron's there, and it's going to be just a different level of oxygen for everybody involved. I believe that LeBron is going into this level of sacrifice with his eyes wide open, but everybody has to.
Philadelphia looks like the ideal situation if LeBron James' top priority is another championship. With Joel Embiid, if healthy, Tyrese Maxey already established as one of the NBA's most dangerous guards, and promising rookie VJ Edgecomb adding defense and athleticism, the foundation is already in place. LeBron isn't joining a rebuilding project or carrying an inexperienced roster. He's stepping into a team that's already built to compete.
Did it surprise you that he prioritized winning another championship? Because he used that word in his statement, winning a championship, bringing a championship to Philadelphia. Like, there were a lot of potential reasons that he could have made a decision. He could have made a decision based on family, stayed on the West Coast, gone to Golden State, nostalgia, go back to Cleveland, even to Miami. But he seemed to make this purely for basketball reasons. It was not, as he wrote, about his family. It was not about money, 2-year, $8 million deal. I do love there's a 15% trade kicker in there.
Yeah, you know.
Like, just to make sure, in case you decide to trade me,
I will get
I'm
a
going to
little
get
money.
600 grand
I will
out
get
of
a little
that.
money because, you know, that's 600 grand. I'm a billionaire, but that 600 grand will really mean something.
That's why the ring-chasing debate refuses to die. Critics argue LeBron James isn't just seeking another chance. He's choosing the most favorable one. At 41, no one expects him to carry a team like his MVP years. But if you're claiming GOAT status, the expectations stay higher. Joining a roster loaded with multiple elite players will inevitably fuel accusations that he's chasing rings rather than building them.
And in Philly, at least, if it works, again, if it works, they have the chance to be a huge powerhouse. If he had gone to the Warriors, that would have been very clearly about like, hey man, it is fun to be an NBA player. It is fun to be LeBron James. I'm going to hang out, play golf every day with Steph Curry because I now love golf. I'm going to drink with Draymond because we live near Napa now. And I'm going to be 45-minute flight from my family. And this is the way to do it. I've earned this. And I would have understand that too. And it would have been fun playing for Steve Kerr, who he loved playing for at the Olympics. That I would have gotten. This I get. The actual Cleveland and Miami, I would have certainly understood the storyline, but I don't think it would have led him to as much happiness.
Rachel Nichols raised what could become the biggest storyline of this experiment: Jaylen Brown's buy-in. She questioned whether Brown is truly comfortable with LeBron James arriving in Philadelphia and potentially reshaping the team's hierarchy. It's a fair question because when LeBron joins a franchise, the offense, locker room, media spotlight, and expectations all change, forcing everyone to adjust around one of the NBA's most influential stars.
Were you in Paris? I don't think you were, right? No. So I was at the Paris Olympics, and one of the things that really struck me that he said after they won was it felt really great to play for something again. And he said it again when he got back and gave his introductory press conference for his first time back with the Lakers after winning the gold medal. He said his second time. It felt really great to play for something again.
If Jaylen Brown fully buys in, Philadelphia could be a championship favorite. If not, the entire experiment could unravel. And if the 76ers fall short, the blame will fly Joel Embiid's health, Brown's fit, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecomb, Nick Nurse, or ultimately LeBron James himself. After all, LeBron chose Philadelphia, this roster, this conference, and this championship window. If it fails, critics will argue he can't blame the situation. That's what makes this move different. LeBron didn't choose Philadelphia out of necessity. He reportedly chose it because he believes it's his best path to another title. The alternatives each carried a different story. Cleveland offered nostalgia, Miami an emotional reunion, and Golden State the intrigue of teaming with Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Steve Kerr. But Philadelphia is about one thing: winning. And that's why the pressure and the scrutiny will be greater than ever. No one doubts LeBron James values family or that money is no longer his motivation. But when that decision reportedly leads to one of the league's strongest championship situations, critics naturally question the timing. The debate intensified after Luka Doncic became the centerpiece of the Lakers' future, ending LeBron's status as the franchise's unquestioned face. Critics argue LeBron responded by seeking a new contender where he could still have major influence. Philadelphia fits that picture with Tyrese Maxey, who is represented by Clutch Sports, Nick Nurse, established stars, and an Eastern Conference path that could lead to another title if everything clicks. That doesn't prove LeBron is controlling the organization, but it does fuel the perception. And that's why critics say he can't have it both ways. Critics argue LeBron James can't claim GOAT status, while lowering the standard when championships don't follow. Longevity and statistics matter, but titles remain central to the debate. That's why the next 2 seasons could define his legacy. If Philadelphia wins 1 championship, the move looks brilliant. If they win 2, many will call it LeBron's final masterstroke, proof he sacrificed a starring role to deliver titles. But if Philadelphia comes up empty despite a roster featuring Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, VJ Edgecomb, and LeBron, the backlash could be relentless. Every injury, playoff loss, and locker room rumor would be magnified, with critics repeating the same argument. You chose this team because it gave you the easiest path to win, and you still couldn't finish the job. LeBron James' role in Philadelphia may define the final chapter of his career. At 41, he can't be the player who controls every possession. If the 76ers are going to win, Joel Embiid must stay healthy. Tyrese Maxey and Jaylen Brown have to thrive. VJ Edgecomb must embrace his role, and LeBron has to accept being a connector instead of the centerpiece. But with LeBron comes relentless pressure. Every loss, lineup change, and locker room story will be magnified. Rachel Nichols summed it up best. Philadelphia could become a spectacular success or a massive failure. Critics also point to LeBron's return to the Eastern Conference after years of greater finals success there, arguing it was a calculated move as the Lakers shifted their future around Luka Doncic. The real question isn't whether LeBron can still play at an elite level. It's whether he can sacrifice control, trust younger stars, and still win. If Philadelphia captures one championship, the move will be celebrated. If they win two, it could redefine LeBron's legacy. But if a roster featuring Embiid, Maxey, Brown, Edgecomb, and LeBron falls short, the ring-chasing debate will only grow louder. So now, the talking is over. The recruiting is over. The pressure is here. LeBron James chose Philadelphia, the Eastern Conference, and one final shot at another title. The only thing left is the result. What do you think? Is this LeBron's greatest career gamble, or the perfect final championship move? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next deep dive from Hoop Lab.